Hey there, Richard Wolf here from the Evangeline Club, training coordinator for District 68, and I wanted to come back and give you guys a video training on the mentoring program I did at the Super TLI. Now, many of you have seen this in a makeup, so I don't want this to replace that event at all because it is nothing like doing it in person. But I did want to have it as a reference for the mentoring that needs to be happening within the district. So here we go. Let me share the screen here. Let's just go to the PowerPoint, start sharing. All right, there we go. So again, Mentoring for Success in the Pathways program. And again, if you need these slides, you want to do them within your club or give a presentation on them, you're more than welcome to borrow them from me. So just give me an email shout out and we'll get you going with that. So let's get started. Mentoring for Success in Pathways, our mentor program. What are your two major challenges that you have within the clubs when it comes to mentoring? I want to get a little feedback here, and then I'm going to give you a minute to kind of think about it, and then I'll actually go through what we found in the district when we actually did it at the meeting there. But just take a minute or two and think about what are the two big challenges there. So what we came up with, this was before when I set up the training, was getting new members and keeping new members as the two major challenges of the club. Now, this training and mentoring itself is going to show you how to eliminate both of those big problems if you follow the system and the structure here. But two of the other things that came out in when we were brainstorming in the club was finding people who want to be members and getting people to buy into the program of the Pathways and the Toastmasters Communication Leadership Hubs. So we're going to talk about that tonight for you. But what I've always liked to know is what is mentoring and how does it actually help the member, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's about the member. If someone comes through our door as a guest, we have a meeting, they see the value in the communication piece and even the leadership side, and they want to join. How are we going to help them as a club? Well, that's our job as mentoring, is helping that member grow. Helping that member grow in whatever they're there for and their specifics. Toastmasters is a great program, but we need to tie together what their why is and what their reason for being there is. We need to help them reach their goals. That's what we do, right? Because with that supportive and positive learning environment, they're going to grow in their communication leadership and also be better people on the outside. That's what we're here for. We're going to teach them how to learn new skills. You would be shocked, and you've probably seen this in your clubs, how some people don't even really know how to learn. You know, we go to school for 10, 12 years, and then maybe we go to some after-school graduate degrees and such. But once we get out, we forget how to learn. And I think Toastmasters is good for helping us remember how to and teaching us how. You know, we know people are either audio or visual, auditory, or they're kinesthetic typically, right? And there's all different versions of that as well. The more of all three we can use, which is most of what Toastmasters Pathways has done. You've got the videos online that walk you through a lot of stuff, right? They're going to come to the meeting and touch it and feel it and actually execute it, right? And then maybe you're going to sit down and have a conversation with them as the mentor on how to learn some new skills and what skills they need to work on developing, right? And it's also going to keep them engaged and connected. That's what mentoring does, is it keeps them tied into Toastmasters and what we're here for. So keep that always in mind. And retention, retention, retention. If they're connected and we're keeping them connected to what they're here for, they're going to hang around and keep growing, keep paying their membership as long as life doesn't get in the way of that. And we know sometimes that happens, but that's something that we can't control. Who's responsible to be the mentors in the club? Well, there's actually two people. The first answer I got was the Vice President of Education, which is correct. Check, check. You're right. However, they're not the only person. And this is page 2 of the application right here. Again, as you see on the left, the Toastmasters promise, right? Attend your meetings regularly. Prepare all projects to the best of your ability. Prepare and fulfill meeting assignments. Provide members with helpful, constructive evaluations. Help the club maintain positive, friendly environment. Serve as a club officer when called upon. Treat fellow club members and guests with respect, bring guests to the club meetings so they can see the benefits of Toastmasters, adhere to the guidelines and rules of the club, act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during all activities. This is what they sign up for, right? They need to make sure they've read that, understand it, and they're going to agree to the terms of the Toastmasters Promise and the Members Agreement and release stated above. And of course, they have to be 18 years or older. And that's where they sign their piece. Well, right below that is where we sign. And notice here, now this is a club officer is going to sign this, right? But read this second paragraph. By my signature below, I certify that this individual has joined the Toastmasters Club identified. As a club, we will ensure that this member receives proper orientation and mentoring. So as a club, we, who is that? Who is that? That's the entire club. All the members are going to certify that we are going to help you get the proper orientation and mentoring. So sure, that responsibility will fall on one person initially, but everybody can contribute, and everybody is responsible for that. Never neglect that, because we as members already, we abide by the Toastmasters Promise also. So never forget that. So what is a mentor? Well, they take a personal interest in people. They help them, right? They serve as a role model, coach, and confidant. They offer knowledge, insight, perspective, and wisdom, and they help people become successful. Personal interest, serve, offer, and help. Pretty simple, huh? So who can be a mentor? Well, I believe anybody can be a mentor. If you have only been there for 6 months and given 4 speeches, you can teach somebody something that you've learned throughout those 6 months. Show them what you know. Okay? Now, I'm not saying, I know within the Toastmasters world, I believe it's supposed to be 6 months or 6 speeches, level 2 maybe, that you need to have reached to actually be an official mentor and get credit for mentoring later on in the program. But anybody can mentor somebody else. If nothing else, show them what you wish you would have heard or learned quicker and sooner, and teach them that. And it kind of goes back to leadership. Some of the best leaders are people that really make a long list of the things that their leader or their past leaders have done that they didn't like, and don't do those things, and be sure to help correct those things if you become and when you become a leader, right? And that's really what it's all about. So, whoops, went the wrong way, sorry. Member interest survey. So to answer the question, how do we get people to sign up as mentors? This is a form in the mentor kit that you can go to Google, mentoring Toastmasters, boom, and you'll find a PDF with the entire kit of all these documents. Member interest survey is one, where you give it to every member, and they say, yes, I would like to mentor a new member. Yes, I would like to mentor a more experienced member. I am a new member and would like to have an assigned mentor. I am a more experienced member and would like to have a mentor help me develop special skills. Please pair me with a mentor who can help me with the following skills, and they can list some things specific. Now, real quick for that fourth one, that could be someone in another club. Like if I have someone that needs to learn something more on the intricacies of Toastmaster, maybe the rules and regs or the policies, procedures, that's someone I'm going to send to a previous district director or to a previous district leader that really knows and understands that area better. But for the first three, it's real simple. You're going to get an answer based on the members in the club on what they want. And I personally believe every member in the club should answer one of these 4. They should check one of those 4 boxes, right? Because everybody should be here to learn something. Either you're going to contribute and be a mentor, or you're going to need a mentor to move to the next level of where you're at. Okay? And then again, the Vice President of Education can actually sign off and send somebody to them, and that kind of completes that piece of it. So what are the qualities of a mentor? I'm going to bounce right through these. They're available, they're patient, they're sensitive, they're respectful, flexible, supportive, knowledgeable, confident, they're a good listener, and they have a concern for others. Now, if you could take all of these words right here and wrap them into one single word, actually it's a 2-word title, what would it be? I'm going to call it a servant leader, because their whole goal is to help someone else. To listen well, be respectful and sensitive, be patient, available, flexible. They've got to be confident in what they know so that they can teach someone else. So that means that person's only been in for 6 months. They can mentor another member. They can answer questions of what they know thus far. And they should be open-minded enough to say, well, look, I don't know that. Go talk to this person about that one. Again, any of the leadership team should be able to answer any big questions, but the one mentor they're going to have for this period of time to get them started definitely should have a servant leader heart about them. The what and the how of mentoring. We want to start them fast right now, so when they sign their application, pay their money, that VPE and or anyone in the club who wants to step up and volunteer should take the time and set a time to visit right now. NMP number 403 is the new member profile. That should be handed to them at that very moment. Once they're put in the system, they're going to email from Toastmasters and go through the Toastmasters Pathways assessment program to see what path they're going to take, right? But this new member profile is going to get a temperature guidance from the member to say, what am I here for? What do I know? What don't I know? And where do I need help? Where's that gap that I need you to help me fill, right? But you need to start them hard and fast now. So the VPE/leadership should know what mentors are available. I think that you should probably go to the step of, who are the next 2 or 3 people up for mentoring? Because there's going to be times when we may have multiple folks that we work with. In some clubs I've seen the president kind of always gives them the first intro into the Toastmasters club and walks through some things with them. And that's fine. Maybe you designate one person in your club who has this first initial sit-down visit with them. And then they hand them off to their mentor, which is going to walk through the Pathways program and give them some more specifics on it. They need to, the what and the how is learning that program in Pathways. So the mentor needs to know what the Pathways program is. They need to be enrolled in it. They need to be familiar with it. And the how is just sitting down with them, showing them that front page, the 3 big boxes, and how that's going to help them navigate through Pathways, how they're going to watch the videos, how they're going to get a feel for what Toastmasters has to offer. And then they can come back and ask questions in relation to that. They're going to learn the club standards, customs, and the Toastmasters promise. And I think that person, the first one they visit with, needs to explain the pieces of the Toastmasters promise and why it's important. Because that's the key to what we're doing here, right? That's the key to helping them understand why they're here and what they need to do. It's going to develop confidence for them, but it's also going to develop confidence in the mentor as well as the mentee. Because the more you teach what you know, the better you're going to be familiar with it and better you'll be at it. And it's going to help you to participate more, but plus it encourages them to participate more. And then quickly learn speaking and leadership skills. Sorry, you may not can see that because of the window skills. Member interest survey. So this is basically a new member profile. This is basically what this is. What are their goals, objectives, and what are their interests? This should be given to them at that time, and they should have it filled out when they come back to visit with you. And if they don't, then this is an opportunity to have a conversation about some of these things and try to see where they're at on this stuff so we can tie them up with a good mentor that can help them. The first steps of mentoring, again, schedule it fast, right now. Do not lose the momentum of that member who just joined and they're excited and want to get going. Sit with that new member. Orient them on the new member, the club customs and procedures. You want to show them Pathways email? Have them bring their computer or their iPad or whatever they use to wherever you meet and visit that you can log in with them. If they haven't done the walkthrough on the Pathways assessment, it's not a long process. Walk through it with them and give them some guidelines. But the more accurate they are on that, the better it's going to give them the adjustment. I think you get to pick 1 or 2 paths. It's going to narrow them down to the 2 that are going to be right for what they want to achieve. You also want to show them how to log into Toastmasters, how to log into your club website, how to sign up for roles, how to do all those basic things in there. You don't need to go too deep, But you need to make sure that they should check this thing every week, and they should do something every week when they go in. And go ahead and sign them up for a role right now, even if it's counter. Let them sign up for counter. Tell them a little bit about it. Tell them to go and study some stuff. Our club has the stuff on the free Toastmasters website that they can download about all the roles. So help them with that. And then help them with the icebreaker basics. Explain to them, they got 4 to 6 minutes to tell us something about themselves. And you might even want to break it down a little better as well as, you know, when you look at a 4 to 6 minute speech, most people brand new have to know what to take out of what they want to tell us versus what they need to put in. 4 to 6 minutes we know is not long, right? If you got 1 minute, 30 seconds to a minute for the intro and 30 seconds to a minute for the outro or your conclusion, you're looking at about 2 minutes already gone, right? So now they're going to have, what, 2 to 4 minutes for the body of their speech. So what's the 1 or 2 things that they would like us to know about them in that speech? Is it in relation to Toastmasters? Is it more relation to just who they are as an individual? And what maybe some of their passions and goals are? But what 1 or 2 things can they fit into that 4 minutes in between? Okay? That's what you want to help them do when it comes to that icebreaker. Because the icebreaker itself will plot out a lot of stuff in the actual handout from Pathways, but it probably gives them too much information to put in because you can't fit all that in. But they maybe can use it in later speeches as well. So in the beginning, there was Pathways. So again, this is the major page here that I like. It's, you know, choose your path, access base camp, and then navigator. But what you want to do is kind of show them how all these little tabs work. They can get to their own magazine, see the events coming up, shop for their own. If they want to buy some Toastmaster swag themselves, they can. But show them how this works. Click these buttons and show them where they go so they understand. Now this right here, we go. So we just talked about the first meeting. Now in the second meeting, but 2 weeks later, you want to make the mentees aware of the resources that they have. So go back to the Pathways website. Go back to the free Toast website if you guys use that. And show them where the resources are if they got questions. Ask them what their questions are. Let's work into that and see how we can answer them and help them keep moving forward. And get them continuing to speak every week or 2 if they can. Give them some positive, hey man, I've noticed you doing this and this. That's really good. I'm very impressed with that. You're going to do well. Keep plugging along. That's good stuff. Explain what they're responsible for now. I think this comes back to a piece of the Toastmasters that we forget about our ownership in the club. Maybe I'm not a leader, but I have a responsibility to the club to just bring what I know to the club, to help support in roles. You know, every week, especially new, they should be signing up for some type of a role. Even if they do counter 3 times, that's fine. Show them how to go and check it off on the Pathways part to say that they did that. Okay? So they get credit for that. So explain what they're responsible for. And part of what their responsibility is to speak. I had a recent member come up and ask me, can someone join and just do the leadership part? Like, well, I mean, I guess they could. But if they're not tapping into the Pathways program, 2 things are going to be a problem here. 1 is they're not going to be familiar with the system. 2 is, I think we all know that every leader is a communicator. So the 2 go hand in hand. So if there's anybody that comes to us that says, oh, I got communication taken care of, and they want more work on the leadership, I commend them. But I question the fact if they're a perfect lead communicator. And if I was wanting to be kind of put them on the spot, I might ask them, okay, so how's your marriage? Because we all know communication is best used in a good, healthy relationship of your marriage, for sure. Whoa, excuse my chair, almost broke on me. So, help them with the speeches and their goals. Tie them back, okay, what are you here for? You know, I just want to keep getting better at communicating. Great, okay, so when are you giving your next speech? Have them go sign up for 2 weeks out. Brainstorm some ideas for that speech, what they want to talk about. Keep in mind something I've tried to teach people in Toastmasters, a little tip here for you, is those first 8 to 10 speeches can all have a common theme and a common topic, but you're just breaking them up into little sections and pieces. Little 5-minute speeches each time, gives us a bigger picture of maybe who they are, what they're passionate about, what their dreams and goals are, whatever it is. But make sure you tie it back to what they're here for. Now this is the section when you click under Navigator, which shows them all the little tabs and stuff, and you're going to have some videos in here. But show them how this works, walk through, even the little, here in this little gray black area, take a look at that and show them how that works, where the resources are over here. So you're going to give them a little tab on all that stuff. So the third meeting, 4 weeks from the first meeting, you want to tell them how you benefited in Toastmasters. And you may have talked about this briefly before, but give them a little more of a story of what some of the things that you've learned over time, right? We want to keep you in the mix here. Need to pause for just a moment, folks. Need to get my power cord. So give them your story if you haven't, or go in a little deeper about it, or give them maybe some other aspect. This is a perfect time to talk about leadership a little bit. You want to invite them to other club events, other clubs. Maybe go visit another club in your area. Plan that with them and go with them to see other people and see other clubs and how they work. Maybe invite them to the Super TLI. Invite them to the district conference. Whatever it might be, to help them see the bigger picture of what Toastmasters has to offer, okay? Acknowledge their progress and that they're doing well, they're moving forward. How are they doing in regards to their goals? And encourage them from the standpoint of, look, you're making some headway and progress. Here's 1 or 2 things you might want to do to continue. Make sure you're tapping in every week. Every 2 weeks you need to give a speech. Let's touch base with those speeches to make sure you feel good about them. Practice, practice, practice. Now talk about officers' duties. Talk about a couple of the roles. Maybe ask them, what are some of their favorite things to do? Like if someone really likes social media and they like fooling with it, that might be a good person for future VP of PR to help promote the club on the social media sites. Maybe there's someone who likes the numbers. They like the accounting and the tracking of stuff. Well, that could be a secretary, a treasurer, or possibly a VP. Without a doubt, they could definitely follow those rules. But talk about them, what their responsibilities are. And if you don't feel good about talking about these, Google search Club Leadership Handbook Toastmasters. And it'll walk through each of the responsibilities in those pages. You can search and read through the PDFs there. Explain what speech contests are for and how you can benefit from them. The experience of just going to one and listening to the great speeches is a big plus. And maybe they don't go to the, obviously they maybe can come to your club one, obviously. They should be there at the club one. Maybe they don't see the division, the area, but maybe they try to get to the division of the district one. Okay, so help them do those things and get tied in. And then discuss the leadership side of Toastmasters. How does it apply? What can they learn here in Toastmasters that helps them when they leave and go outside to the real world? Ask them about their position at work and how maybe leadership could benefit them there. Now, subsequent meetings, 6 weeks and beyond, is really just touching base to keep them on track. Are they achieving their goals? Are they stepping into bigger roles or shadowing? They should have been Toastmaster by now. They should probably have been an evaluator by now. Talk to them about leadership for the next term. Could they shadow the VPPR to possibly take his role when next year comes around? Again, shadowing to back up. Roles inside the club. Have they never been Toastmaster? Okay, next week, Sonia's a Toastmaster. I want you to talk to Sonia before the meeting. I want you to talk to her 3 days ahead of the meeting and see what is she doing. What is she trying to prepare and how does she get ready for that? I want you to go online and look up Toastmasters best strategies, Toastmasters top 10, whatever, and do some research about how to be a good Toastmaster of the meeting. And then what's their next step, right? Where do they want to go and how do we need to help them get there so that they stay focused and moving forward? So new members, to kind of wrap this up and bring it in for a landing, they need to be eager to learn. They need to have a commitment of time. we need to explain to these new members that the meeting is an hour to an hour and a half every week, every other week, whatever your club needs. But the real work and time commitment is going to be that 2 hours outside of there every week, writing their speeches, learning about Toastmasters, going into pathways and making sure they're up to date on all their information, printing out some sheets that they need the referral, the evaluation forms for their speeches. Those are the kind of things that are going to be taking the time outside the meeting, writing their speeches, performing their speeches, rehearsing their speeches, internalizing their speeches. That's the real time commitment. So make sure they understand that coming to the meeting is not all it is. It's outside the meeting is where the real work is done. But they need to be open-minded to the new ideas, new ways of learning. Toastmasters is a little different than some organizations in that you're learning on a repeated and renewal basis. New skills, new ideas, new speeches, new topics. You've got to keep growing. But then also respectful of the club's commitment to them. So our club shows up and sets up every single week. They need to have the respect to try and show up as much as they possibly can. Because we're making a commitment to be there. You need to be making a commitment to show up, to support the club and fill a role, if nothing else. And then grateful for the opportunity to learn what you can from us. And lastly, I'm here to help. Whatever I can do for you, just let me know. We can do it. And that really wraps it up. One last thing I'll throw out there for anyone listening is if you go to iTunes or Spotify or Google Podcasts and search Maximize You, M-A-X-I-M-I-Z-E, You the letter. We have a podcast, me and Scott Morgan, another Toastmaster, have been doing for about 2 years now. Maybe not quite that long. But there's a portion of them on there that I've done separate, some with Scott, some without him, that are Toastmasters titles. They may be about mentoring, they may be about the roles in the club, different things like that. To where we've got some more resources out there that you can tap into and listen to let yourself know that, hey, we can do this. We have another avenue in which we can help you, and we can help you grow and be better as an individual. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Again, Maximize You on the web. Probably Google it and find it as well. But that might be something that can help you from that standpoint to kind of grow and get another viewpoint. Because that's some other folks we've been using in the district. And I'm going to actually continue to do more with other members of the district leadership as well as just senior members of Toastmasters who've been doing things for quite some time in the Toastmasters world. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I wanted to wrap this up real tidy with a little bow on it and tell you that we appreciate you for all you're doing. I hope these trainings are giving you some value. I believe they are. I've put some time and energy and effort into them to really help you. So I wanted you to do that. And I want you to give me some feedback. Are there some things I could add? What do you appreciate and like most about the training? To where I can continue to develop this over time and help you guys grow as individuals as well as leaders in your club. And again, share these with anyone in your club. It doesn't have to be just leaders. It can be the first member that just joined last week. If it's something you feel like could be of value to them, please let them know about it because they can check it out as well. That's all we got for today. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.